Hello Experiment Nation, welcome. I hope you're all having a great time so far. Today I want to present to you interesting things about how to optimize your checkout cart. I'll show you some tips on what we do and best practices, as well as I'm going to take a cart from an e-commerce store and I'm going to show my recommendations and of things that they can improve and things which are actually going great. So, before starting, I want to introduce myself a bit more. I am Adrian Timar. As I said, I am a CRO specialist at Verifone. What I do here at Verifone, together with my team, we optimize checkout carts basically for big clients, mostly in cybersec and software. I've also been a part of a few other marketing teams, and yeah, some fun facts about me. I really love collecting vintage video games, and I have a cute cat. Alright, so what are we gonna talk about today? So I'm gonna present some good tips on what you should do to make sure that your checkout process, and especially your checkout page, converts the way it should. So we're gonna touch bases on things about the checkout fields, the checkout flow, things you can do to improve trust and security for the people going on the page, and after that we're gonna do a live teardown. All the things which I'm gonna present here are either findings from within our own team throughout the years through running experiments, or they are UX best practices from BuyMart Institute. For those of you that don't know, BuyMart Institute is an institution that basically does UX testing, and they have a lot of original research and things which they have found out to work really well. So let's dive in. We're going to talk about checkout fields. I chose the checkout fields first because, based on this research which was run by the BuyMart Institute of like 4,000 people, one of the biggest reasons why people leave the checkout flow is a too long or complicated checkout process. And checkout fields play a big role in that. They actually are one of the biggest points of friction inside the form. So we want to actually optimize them to work better. So for the first tip is use geolocation to pre-fill fields. What is geolocation? It's basically a script that takes user's IP based from the browser and autofills fields that can benefit from that IP. So, for example, let's say that I am in Romania and my IP is a Romanian IP. That means when I enter a page, as you can see on the right side, it automatically selects my country and my state. This is a really good implementation of it because it saves time that it makes the user not have to do this manually. I mean, if you can use the information that is available, why not use it and make the whole experience much shorter? So on the right side is a great example of this. On the left side is an example which doesn't use geolocation and could have. Alright, moving on. The second tip would be to merge or remove unnecessary fields. On the left side you can see the same form as before. I want to point out here that they have the first name and the last name field. Now, in some marketing teams, I mean most marketing teams actually like having these two separated because of personalization reasons. So taking the first name and using it in the newsletter, for example, making the communication much more personal. But for me as a user that wants to just finish the checkout and buy a product, that's not helping me. That's making the whole process longer. So on the right side, they have merged the two fields and made it into one. So it's a whole field just for first and last name instead of having two separate ones. This makes the whole form shorter by one field. Alright, the third one, which I'm gonna talk about, is auto-detecting credit card types. So you can see on the left side there is a form which has a drop down for me to select what kind of card I am using, while on the right side there's no such drop down. But after I've started filling in my credit card, you can already see that the Visa icon is popping up, meaning that they have already detected what type of card I'm using and have used that information to not ask me basically again what kind of card I'm using. This can be done by using the first 2 or 3 numbers of a card, and since all these credit card numbers are like in a standard format, and you can use that to your advantage to make the whole flow shorter, basically. Okay, the next area I want to talk about is the checkout flow. The checkout flow is still part of the 4th reason here, the too long and complicated checkout process. So it's something which we need to really take a look at. But in the checkout flow, we can also include this. The second biggest reason why people leave a checkout process is that the website wanted them to create an account. So we're gonna touch bases on both of those. Let's start with the account first. The tip would be to always provide a guest checkout option. This is a really important thing because people are really tired of created accounts, especially when they only want to buy things one-off. So don't make them jump through hoops and create accounts and go into email, confirm their accounts and all that, just for them to be able to buy, I don't know, some coffee beans, you know? It's a thing which is a big turnoff for a lot of people, and besides the process itself being more complicated, people don't want spam. They are not happy to create an account which they know they are going to receive newsletters, offers, promos on whatever. So on the left side you can see that I've added actually you can't see it, but I'm going to tell you, I've added an item to my cart and I wanted to continue to the checkout. And this is the next step that popped up after I wanted to check out. So this was not friendly for me. While on the right side, this vendor, when I wanted to check out, this overlay popped up and it offered me the option to do the guest checkout. Now ideally, guest checkout, you would want guest checkout to be higher up, have more emphasis placed on it because it's the one that people are going to choose the most. So make it really easy for them to do that. You don't force them to create an account and probably lose the sale because they don't want to. Just have this guest checkout option present and preferably, you know, more visible. All right. Never ask for feedback during the checkout flow. Now, people, when they are completing a checkout form, they are actually paying attention to the details. They are typing. They are also paying attention to the product, the price, making sure that everything is in order for them to buy it. While they are doing this, you don't want to interrupt them with things that are not essential. So, for example, on the left side, you can see that while I was completing the form, a pop-up popped up basically and asked me to provide some feedback. This was not the right time to do this because it just broke my whole concentration, and yeah, I mean I didn't leave, but some people might leave when they see this because, you know, especially if you are completing a long form and this pops up and you like get really distracted, you just say, you know what, it's not worth it, and leave. On the right side is a good implementation of this. They are asking for feedback here on the right side after the checkout has been complete. So in the order summary, this is a good practice. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is consider experimenting review steps for larger order values. So review steps basically add another step to the whole checkout flow, which is counterintuitive when you think about the fact that you want to make it shorter. We have seen a lot of results with review pages, but we've also seen that the results are really dependent on 2 big factors. So having an extra step works really well in countries outside of the US, based on our research, and on orders that are higher than $100. So when you are thinking of experimenting with a review page, consider the products that your people are buying. If they are buying expensive products, then maybe they do want a second screen just to verify that everything is in order, because it's much more demanding to pay more money, so you want to make sure that everything is whoops, I'm sorry about that. There's a huge storm here. I just got a national alert. Alright, so yeah, back to the review page. You want people to feel safe when they buy, so just provide the review page for them to check the credit card details, the product, the quantities, and whatever else they might want to check in the order summary. Moving on trust and security. Trust and security, I'm referring here to the perceived trust and perceived security that people have when they land on the checkout. So how much trust do they place in you and on the process that they are willing to give their personal information to. One thing that you can do to alleviate the anxiety people have when completing, introducing personal information such as the phone field is to actually explain why you need that information. You can see on the left side, I was buying a software product and it asked for my phone number. Now, I don't need a phone number. I mean, the vendor would not need my phone number if I'm buying a digital product, like I just downloaded it. There's nothing here that requires my phone number. So yeah, I was inclined not to complete it. On the right side though, they are asking for the phone number, which of course they've marked as optional, which is great by default. But they also provide an explanation to why they want that phone number. So in this case, we need to contact you about your order. Fair enough. That's a really good explanation to why I would need to give out my phone number. People are reluctant to give out phone numbers and emails because of how many, let's call them spams, there have been. Like they don't want another channel through which vendors might send promotional messages, SMSs with discounts, or being called by sales people and all that. So yeah, just a simple thing, just like providing an explanation why you are requesting for that info goes a long way. Okay, we recommend using a 30-day money-back guarantee as a trust badge. We have run a lot of tests with this. It almost always works really great. Basically, if you as a vendor are offering things like money back guarantees, no matter how many days. So for example, on the left side you can see that they are offering 30-day money back guarantee. On the right side, a 60-day money back guarantee. Show that information in the checkout process and make it visible. For most vendors that we work with, we recommend using this on top, so in the header of the checkout page, because it's very visible and people directly see it and get some trust that if they are not satisfied with their product, they will be able to get their money back. This doesn't really only apply to money back guarantee. It can also be things like free shipping, or I don't know, free insurance, or whatever else feature you are offering that people would benefit from. So free shipping, for example, if I would have bought a physical product, would have been great here. Just show that it's free shipping. Okay. I also want to talk about security badges in general. These are the most used security badges, but it's what people think of them. So around 3,000 people were asked which badge gives you the best sense of trust when paying online, run by the Baumart Institute, and 35% of all people recognized and said that Norton Security is their most trusted badge, followed by Google, Better Business Bureau, McAfee. Why am I showing you this? It's because these security badges are not free. You would have to go through either a flow or pay, or both, pay annually to have the certification applied to your site. So when deciding on which badge to choose and use in your checkout, consider this chart, because this would provide the most return on investment. So for example, I would rather pay for Norton than pay for other badges here on the bottom, because people know Norton and trust Norton. Alright, I hope you like the tips so far. We are moving on to the live teardown, and today's target is Best Buy. In case you don't know who Best Buy is one of the biggest retailers of electronics in the US. They mostly deal in physical stores, but they also have e-commerce site through which you can order their products, basically. So I'm gonna add a few things to my cart, and we are actually gonna move on to see their checkout flow and provide some feedback based on it. So let's say, for example, I want to buy these AirPods Pro. Alright, I'm not interested in other things, I just want to get to the checkout. Okay, let's see it in my cart. Alright, so the first thing we see here in our cart is that we have two options when checking out. We can do the checkout the classic way. Basically, I am thinking here that it's with the credit card, or we can do through PayPal. It's great that they have differentiated, because we have seen that in the US a lot of people use PayPal actually to pay online. So probably a lot of people pay with PayPal at Best Buy, and they just created a different flow for this. This is an interesting approach, but I want to pay the old classic way. Alright, let's check out. Now the first thing which we have talked about is create an account and guest checkout. They do offer a guest checkout option, which is great, but they actually are pushing a bit for me to create an account. Still, it's really great that they have the guest checkout option. I would just switch places, maybe have this in like front and center here. But anyway, we are continuing as guests. Alright, this is another order summary. So yeah, here it's nice that I can see my product, like picture of the product. I can see more stuff which I get for free because I'm buying an Apple product probably. Some things about the shipping which I'm not really interested in right now. Alright, let's start typing something. I hope they're gonna accept this phone number. Great, they did. So they have asked for my email and phone number. Phone number here is not motivated of why they are asking for it, but at least I am not that afraid that I'm gonna get promotional spam, because I have not checked the text me updates about order services and appointments. So decent enough implementation. I would have used the tooltip, or just have a bit of a text on why my phone number is being asked. Okay, so we are inside the checkout page. The first thing you see that they are asking for my credit card. So let's start typing a fictive number. So let's keep it like this. This is a good example. I have started typing the credit card string, and you can see here that just based on my two numbers, they have detected it's a Visa, which is great. We've talked about this before. We use credit card number to, don't have the person select their type manually. Alright, they are asking for my expiration month and year, whatever. Security code. This is another great implementation by them. For a lot of people, mostly older people, don't know what the CCV code is or how to find it. Like, they're not so versed in buying online. So it's really great to have such an icon showing where on your card you can find this number. This is great. Let's say I don't want to use my credit card and want some other payment options. It's nice that I've put it under URL and not automatically shown it to me and made the whole checkout page look much bigger than it is. So yeah, it's PayPal checkout. What a surprise, we've already seen this. But moving on, in case I have a gift card or a discount code, I can use that here. They have hidden it under URL, which is the best way to have discount fields shown. Basically, you don't want to show discount fields by default, because when people see discount fields, they will go out coupon hunting online, because you can almost always find a coupon that you can redeem for, like, I don't know, even 5% discount. But yeah, you don't want people to do that. You don't want people to leave the checkout page and go offsite to search for discounts. So yeah, their implementation under URL was really great. The bad part here is that I can't collapse it back. There's no way for me to hide it now that it's shown. Unfortunately, I don't have a discount code, which is okay. Moving on to personal information. So first name, last name. They could have made this, they could have made this a single field, but you know, the whole form is not that long, so we'll let it slide this time. But again, they could have used a single field here. My address. Now I want to talk about this a bit. They have two things going for them here. They do have geolocation, but because I am not in a US IP, it doesn't really work. So I have checked this through a VPN on US VPN, and they have actually detected from which state, which city I was in. I don't think zip code worked, but yeah, that's already some information which I don't have to do manually. They also have address suggestions. So again, if I would have been on an American IP and I would have started typing here an address, they would have offered like autocomplete on the address basically, which again is really great. All these features shorten the time it takes for me to complete my order, which is what you really want people to be able to buy faster. Okay, we are almost done with this. They have another really great thing which I liked and not a lot of people do, is prompting me to create an account, but they are using the email address which I've already given in the previous step. So this is a good place to ask for an email, for an account creation, because I already entered all my information. They have already respected my time in a way and used some of the information which I've typed, so I don't feel like, why would I have to retype this again? And they also provide some benefits of me creating an account. Now, after I took all the time to complete this, having just to create a password would not be such a bad thing, because I get access to all these and I've already typed half of the process basically. So yeah, this is a great implementation, and I think, like, for me at least, and yeah, it works really great. I would have created an account here. Now, after all that information has been completed, I can place my order. I don't like the location of this button at all, because ideally you would like to have your order summary visible next to the checkout button. So some fixes that they could have implemented here was either make this whole thing, order summary, sticky, so when I scroll down I would have had it present here, or just move the button underneath the summary. That would have worked great as well. Okay, so this was my live teardown of Best Buy. There are some other things which they can improve as well, but I find that these are the biggest things. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent experience. Like, it's pretty great actually. Their form is not that long, the whole process is not that complicated, so yeah, they are actually doing a pretty decent job. Alright, this was all of my presentation. I hope you found the tips interesting, helpful, and in case you do want to read more, because we have a ton more such tips, you can use the link here in the presentation to find case studies and like experiments that we have run for various clients. There are a lot of great things there you can read. And also, I recommend that you visit Weimar Institute's site and check out things directly from them. They have huge guidelines, like huge number of guidelines on things such as product listings, checkouts, and all sorts of stuff. We at Verifone really love them. Most of us are certified within the CRO team from Weimar, and yeah, we highly recommend to anyone that wants to learn UX to visit them. Okay, this was my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a great conference. I hope that you all learn some great things, talk with great people, and yeah, contact me if you want to drop me a call, whatever. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you. Bye.